So you have
Yes.
on there in a little different order.
So start there.
Okay. Good evening. It's 6 p.m. Call the meeting to order. Thank you for coming. We really appreciate your coming to the board meeting. First of all, I want to note that Jason is absent and excused, and Brenna is attending on Zoom. And on a personal note, if I don't quite see you right, I had eye surgery this morning, so I am seeing, but it's a little different than usual. So apologize for that. Begin with the land acknowledgement. We would like to acknowledge that we gather on the ancestral homelands of the Coast Salish peoples, specifically the Nooksack tribe, who have lived in the Salish Sea Basin throughout the San Juan Islands and the North Cascades watershed, time immemorial. On behalf of everyone here, we want to express our deepest respect and gratitude for our Indigenous neighbors, the Nooksack tribe, for their enduring care and protection of our shared lands and waterways. Next is the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And actually, the agenda, any changes from the agenda is written. If not, entertain a motion to approve the agenda as written.
Motion to approve the agenda is written.
All those in favor?
We're looking for a second.
Oh, second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Yep. Superintendent informational items.
So I'm going to come up here for my informational items because I know that this is the same podium that many of you will be using tonight as well. I'd like to use the time for superintendent informational items to acknowledge the community concern that I have been hearing over the last few weeks. After talking with many parents and community members, I want to say that I hear you and I take your concerns very seriously. When families are worried about their children, nothing else feels more important. And I understand that. I'm a parent too. Because there might be people listening tonight who are not familiar with the situation, I would like to share information from the message that was sent to staff and families earlier this week regarding the district's actions thus far. In September, the district initiated an investigation into reports of student misconduct, and we have since engaged an independent third-party investigator to look into the matter. We are also continuing to work closely with the Whatcom County Sheriff's Office to support their investigation. As part of the district's investigative process, the Harmony Elementary principal is currently on administrative leave as we work to understand the facts surrounding the student misconduct and the district's response. Administrative leave is a standard step during an investigation. It supports a thorough, fair process and helps preserve the integrity of the fact-finding. I'm legally prohibited from sharing information about individual students or student discipline. However, consistent with district policy, the district may temporarily put safety measures in place, including removing a student from school while concerns are being investigated. I understand the desire to know more details about the situation. At the same time, the school districts are legally required to protect the privacy of all students. Those requirements limit what I can share publicly, even when I know that is frustrating for families. I also understand that many people are not asking for specific details. Rather, they have asked for more information about what the district's policies and systems are for protecting our students. I want you to know that I hear those requests and am taking action. I've initiated discussions with both our school board and our staff about how to best conduct a comprehensive evaluation of district policies and procedures to better meet the community's expectations. That process has begun. It is a large part of my work as a new superintendent to review procedures and practices about all aspects of district operations with an eye on continuous improvement. It is also my responsibility to ensure that this type of review is part of our ongoing practice, not just a response to a crisis. Our policies and procedures are not just documents that sit on a website or a cabinet. They must guide our daily practice in every building, every day. I have heard from families who have said this situation has damaged their trust in the district, and this is deeply concerning to me. Trust is earned through consistent actions, not just words. Rebuilding trust will take time and will require follow-through. I am committed to doing that work with our community. Before we begin public comment, I want to thank everyone who came here tonight. You are here because you love our kids and want what's best for our schools. We are aligned in those priorities. The board and I are here to continue listening, and we genuinely value the feedback and perspectives that you're willing to share with us. I also want to recognize our staff who care deeply about our community's children. They show up every day to serve students, and they deserve our support as we navigate difficult moments together. As we move forward, I remain committed to gathering facts, protecting the safety of our students, and creating a learning environment where our students can thrive. And I want to thank the board and the community for patience as we work toward those goals. Thank you.
So before we start public comments, first of all, I want to really welcome and thank you for coming. The board really appreciates your comments and concerns, and your voice is important for us as we do our work, both comments and the emails that we've received, which we I think show the concerns of individuals in the community, and we share that. First, I wanted to read the protocols for addressing the board. The portion of our meeting with public comments is a time for the public to comment to the board. It's not a dialogue, and so I just wanted to tell you ahead of time, don't expect us to answer your questions. If there needs to be follow-up, we will refer to you generally to the superintendent. Sometimes there's other persons to follow up with, but generally to the superintendent. So I just didn't want you to feel frustrated if we don't answer your questions in this format. The board appreciates your interest in speaking at the meeting. Please be aware that this opportunity to present your ideas and views to the board. Please do not expect an open dialogue, as I said, or debate with the board. If you wish to speak during the public input part of the meeting, please make sure that you've signed up to speak. Comments that name or identify an individual are not permitted. If there's concern about an individual, the board will ask that you make an appointment with the superintendent to discuss the issue. Each speaker has a maximum of 3 minutes, and Tammy is working to put a timer up on the screen so you can keep track of our time. Please monitor the comments made before yours and avoid repeating that which has already been stated. Complaints concerning district employees or other individuals may not be addressed orally at the meeting. There again, you can follow up with the superintendent. The board may interrupt or terminate an individual statement when it's too lengthy, personally directed, abusive, obscene, or irrelevant. The meeting will be managed in a manner that will allow it to be adjourned at the planned time. And with that, I'll start with, in order here. First up to speak is Heather.
Omer.
I'm trying to read. You can state your last name.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. All right. Good evening, members of the board. My name is Heather Omer. And I'm here tonight as a concerned parent and an advocate for student safety. Recently, our community learned about a serious incident in which a third grade student was sexually assaulted on a school bus by another student. The school was notified and a safety plan was put in place. That should have been the moment when strong protections ensured no other child would be harmed. Unfortunately, that plan failed. The same student was later able to harm another child, this time a student in his own class. When something like this happens more than once, it's not just an incident, it's a system failure.
From what we understand, not all staff members were informed about the safety plan. A plan that isn't fully communicated cannot be consistently followed. We also learned that the plan was broken when the student was allowed to come into contact with the first victim. That should never happen under any circumstances if safety is truly the priority. I am the parent of a sixth grader who shares spaces like recess with this student. And like every parent, I send my child to school trusting that the adults responsible for her care will protect her. Right now, I need reassurance that the systems meant to keep students safe actually work, not just on paper, but in practice. I want to be clear, parents understand that schools must follow student privacy laws. These laws exist for good reason, and they should absolutely be respected. But privacy laws do not prevent schools from enforcing safety plans. Properly informing staff who are responsible for supervision or communicating general safety assurances to families. Protecting confidentiality and protecting children are not opposing goals. They can and must happen together. Privacy should never be used as a shield to avoid accountability or to withhold information that is necessary to ensure student safety. This is not about blame or attacking the school. It's about accountability and improvement. When safety plans are created, they must be clear, enforced, and communicated to every single staff member who interacts with students. There must also be clear consequences when these plans are not followed, because children's safety cannot depend on chance or assumptions. I'm asking the board to take a hard look at how safety plans are implemented, communicated, and monitored. What safeguards are in place to ensure that all staff are informed? How is compliance verified? And what steps are being taken right now to guarantee that no other child is put at risk? Parents should never have to question whether their child will be safe at school. Sorry. Safety must come before convenience, before miscommunication, and before protecting any institution's reputation. Sorry. Our children deserve action, transparency, and accountability. I urge you to make student safety, sorry. I urge you to make student safety your highest priority and to show families through your policy and your follow through that our trust is well placed. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Maggie?
Hello, I'm Mandy Pigeon. I have two children in the Mount Baker school system. One is a senior at the high school and one is in sixth grade at Harmony. They both started in kindergarten, so we've been here a while. Many of you know me through PTO, drama, soccer, dance flash mobs, and general support of the student community. I'm familiar with the culture of Mount Baker School District, and for the most part, our experience here has been quite good. It is concerning to learn of the assaults that took place during the fall and winter of this school year on the bus and at the Harmony campus. The fact that the families of the victims had to come forward with their stories publicly in order to get the answers that they were looking for is also concerning. The fact that opportunity existed for this to occur on several occasions is a safety gap that must be filled. I'm here to add my voice to the concerned parents and guardians of this community. I want to make it perfectly clear that I am supportive and grateful of the teachers and staff at Harmony and throughout the district who care for our children. I want the children involved to get the support they need to heal, learn, and recover so they can get back to being kids. I am not out to get anyone fired or expelled. What I'm looking for is systemic changes and solutions that will better support staff to keep our children safe. We as parents entrust our children's safety to you, the district. Are asking, how will you fill those safety gaps that have been exposed? I am aware district resources are low, and I am hoping together we can find solutions to staffing shortages and other safety shortfalls. Perhaps more specific training is needed for staff to understand how to handle such situations, or individual aid should be provided. I know that staff care about these kids, but they can't be aware if they aren't informed. I know there are schools that utilize parent volunteers at recess, for example. The part that I find most unacceptable is the fact that a second victim has come forward months after the first. This should never have happened. If a solid safety plan had been put in place and followed, there would never have been the opportunity. I would like to know where the system failed and how it will be amended. It is imperative that the proper steps are taken, investigations conducted, and supportive help given to all involved when such events occur. It is necessary that the appropriate people be informed in a timely manner and that safety plans are solid. The questions I would like answered are, were the proper steps taken after each event? Where did the system fail to allow this to continue? How will you change the system to work better in the future? How will you make our buses safer? How will you make our playgrounds safer? Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is Althea Wiley. Welcome.
Hey, hi. My name is Althea Wiley. I'm a parent at Kendall Elementary. I'm involved with PTA there. And on the first day of school, my kindergartner was lost, and I came to the school board and I said, hey, buses are a really, really big issue. I didn't know the issues could get so big. None of us did, but it was kind of a lot of, well, bus monitors and whatnot, that's more money. But then now we have to look at like the real costs of situations, such as like lawsuits, extra insurance, and like we've just lost like the price of children's like innocence. Like you can't really put a dollar sign on that. So I think we can get, I think we just, if money is the issue, then we got to dig deep and figure out how we can get creative for more support for the teachers and the staff. And I can't imagine something like that going on just right behind my back on like a 30-foot bus. And you're a driver, you're driving, it's such a hard job. Like I'm always just generally concerned about children's behavior on the bus because I'm so worried that they're going to do something and there's going to be a crash. And yeah, so we know it's just so clear and apparent that our children's safety just wasn't taken into account at the beginning of this year on our buses, and there continues to be a lot of behavioral issues, kids vaping, things like that in the back of the bus. That I just feel like some people, they have such a long bus ride that if there was another adult there on the bus, maybe not even an adult, creative ideas I have. What about older high school students who want to go into childcare? How do we offer them an opportunity to possibly like either earn a little money or maybe earn credits towards like a career that they would be looking into? We can maybe start providing balance that way. Also, when you look at our youth and we look at people who like kind of like grew up in this community, graduated from Baker, have kids at Baker, we have these gaps where people aren't showing up or having the applications done and stuff. Like, what if we started like creating those opportunities within the school, within like the students who, like you want to go off to college and stuff, but you can build like a foundation within the school and kind of see, there are responsible, or like teacher aides even. Like, I don't even know if that can be a part of their contract where it's like, if you're here, how much does it cost to extend something like that? And I know the district has money problems, but if we're just focusing, or if we're just saying we just don't have the money to fix that, that's disheartening. And in regards to all the parents at Harmony, during the pandemic, my son went to the Harmony School because they had a YMCA program open there, and we do a lot of sports, and so we play with your students and everything. We play on your fields, and yep, I just wanted to say, like, I appreciate you all showing up, and that we are a small community. We are.
Thank you very much. Natalie, welcome back.
Good evening. My name is Natalie Chavez, Thank you for listening to public comments. I've really missed attending these meetings. Unfortunately, I've been out of town more than usual and was also helping a loved one through their transition process. That being said, I would have made public comments at these meetings while I was away if there had been a remote Zoom option to do so. Perhaps that is a feature that you'll consider adding in the future in order to allow parents, teachers, and community members to participate in public comments without having to attend these meetings in person due to inclement weather, transportation, or health issues, young children at home, etc. I'm not speaking about the Harmony incident tonight, but I stand in solidarity with you all. I want to share some information with you regarding the American Academy of Pediatrics. In 1986, the National Childhood Vaccine Injury Act passed, which effectively eliminated tort liability for vaccine manufacturers. They literally would have gone bankrupt from lawsuits. Since then, there have been over $5 billion awarded to vaccine-injured individuals and to parents of deceased infants and children through the Vaccine Injury Compensation Program, which has nothing to do with vaccine manufacturers. It comes from a sales excise tax and also taxpayer money, because the vaccine-injured individuals usually, from what I've seen, get awarded Medicaid and can stay on it for the remainder of their lives, regardless of their parents' income. I know of no other industry that has complete liability immunity with absolutely no accountability for the products that they manufacture. And not surprisingly, the CDC pediatric vaccine schedule ballooned from only 7 vaccines in 1985 to 23 vaccines in 2024. What an amazing, actually horrifying way for Big Pharma to make billions of dollars in profit on our children. Ever since 1986, the American Academy of Pediatrics has heavily been promoting vaccines. And the top 4 vaccine manufacturers for products that are on the pediatric vaccine schedule are at the top of the American Academy of Pediatrics corporate donor list: Merck, Pfizer, Moderna, and Sanofi. The American Academy of Pediatrics has devolved into an advertiser and lobbyist for corporate interests that fund their operations. And lastly, a federal RICO lawsuit for vaccine safety fraud was filed against the American Academy of Pediatrics just last month. The lawsuit alleges that the American Academy of Pediatrics was running a decade-long racketeering operation that has deceived and given parents false safety assurances about the childhood vaccine schedule, shut down legitimate scientific scrutiny, while operating within a system shaped by vaccine manufacturer funding and financial incentives tied to high pediatric vaccination rates. I'll elaborate more about this at the lawsuit at the next meeting and how this lawsuit is significant for protecting the safety and well-being of our children. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Next up is Vanessa Stevens. Okay.
Good evening.
My name is Vanessa Stevens. I have a 3rd grader and a 1st grader at Harmony, and our family has been a part of the community since preschool. I am speaking tonight as a mother who is deeply concerned about the safety of my children. I entrust this district with my kids every single day. That trust is not casual, it is sacred. One of my children has unique needs. She depends on structure, predictability, and adults who are paying attention. She depends on systems that work. For children like mine and for every child in this district, safety cannot be optional, inconsistent, or reactive. When serious incidents happen, families deserve immediate transparency. When supervision fails, there must be clear accountability. When transportation issues arise, they cannot be treated as separate from the district, because to parents, there is no separation. A child on a bus is still a child under your care. Safety is not a department, it is not a contractor, it is not a policy sitting in a binder. It is a responsibility. And right now, many of us do not feel confident that responsibility is being upheld with the urgency and seriousness our children deserve. I am not here to assign blame to any individual or to create division. I am here because I need to know that the adults in charge are willing to look honestly at where systems failed and make real structural changes. Children, especially younger, vulnerable children, do not always have the ability to advocate for themselves in the moment. They rely on us. They rely on you. When procedures are unclear, when communication is delayed, when safety measures are inconsistent,
It is our children who absorb the impact. As a mother, that is unacceptable to me. I need to know that supervision standards are strong. I need to know that staff are trained. I need to know that transportation is fully integrated into district accountability. I need to know that when something serious happens, families are informed promptly and honestly. We should not have to fight for reassurance that our children are safe or organized just to be heard. We should not have to wonder. I am asking you to treat this moment as a turning point, strengthen the systems, clarify the protocols, increase transparency, and restore trust. Because when I drop my children off at school, I am handing over the most important people in my life, and I am trusting you with everything. Please prove that trust is deserved. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, that's the first sheet. Next up is Val Byron. You didn't, yeah.
I might have put it on the wrong list.
Right, so I want to check on the second sheet in case anyone has signed that, so.
No,
Gwen?
not me.
No? Regina
Regina, nope.
and Jamie?
Nope.
Jane? Gates?
Nope.
Okay. Did anyone else not get an opportunity to sign up that wanted to speak?
Can I speak?
Sure.
I'll be 3 minutes, I promise. I'll actually abide by that.
But start by, for the record, please.
Okay, my name is Jen Esplin and I have a Harmony student and a middle school student. I believe I have a little bit of a unique perspective when it comes to school administration, having been exposed to a lot of it my entire life. I think I've been around and heard what's going on with the parent. We don't know and understand the due process that is required here. The understanding of what steps were taken when they were is something that they're missing. We're not hearing it, we don't understand it. We don't understand it because it's not the world we live in. It's not the bureaucracy that is our lives. The getting on and dealing with the Washington school, like I understand what that takes and I understand we were in line. I don't think that's understood. I think there's a lot of bureaucracy that needs to be explained and be able to understand. The other thing that I really encourage is we understand how long the abuse was happening before it was reported the first time. How many other victims are out there right now that we don't know about? What resources are we providing to parents to conduct conversations at home? What are we doing at school to ensure that there aren't other victims out there? We need to be doing that work right now to make sure there aren't other kids coming forward with problems later. We have the ability to take action now. We need to do it.
Thank you. So that completes our public comment section. Next up, we have information from the board members, and I will start with you, Danielle.
Just a minute. I know you said we aren't having a dialogue, but I just want to address all the folks that are here tonight. I know many of you and have worked with many of you. My kids go to school alongside of yours. And this is a hard conversation for all of us, and I appreciate all of you being here tonight. And I'm really proud of my community for showing up on behalf of our kids and all the other ways that you show up. I know those of you who are here are some of the most involved parents in our schools. So I'm wanting to acknowledge the heartbreak that we feel and the fear that we feel and the anger. And I want you to know that I take it very seriously. And I know my fellow board members take it very seriously, as with their superintendent. It matters deeply to all of us, and all of us are here tonight because we care. so much. And caring isn't enough. I understand that. It's not enough. We have to pair our caring with the processes, regular review, and measurable accountability. I've heard from a lot of parents, some calls for additional training and prevention effort. And just this week I spoke with Melissa Pickell. She's the Associate Executive Director at Bridget Collins Family Support Center. And they provide training for folks in the community that's offered nationally, but the program is called Stewards of Children Training, and it's about teaching people who work with kids, parents, educators, community members, how to see signs of child sexual abuse and how to respond to it appropriately and not in ways that could continue or further harm to that child. So I spoke to her, and that training that they do is one of the only programs known to measurably increase efficacy in preventing and identifying that behavior in children. So it's not just let's talk about this and hope it helps. It's one of the only known trainings that makes a measurable impact. And I spoke with them. They've expressed willingness to coordinate with the district. They have grant funding that they're willing to offer to help pay for that training and to help explore policy review, to help us look over our processes and make sure that if there are any gaps, we will find them. I don't think that's where our work ends. I think that's where our work begins. But I want you to know that I hear you all. And I appreciate all of you standing up here tonight and saying from the heart what matters so much to us for kids with depression. Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Danielle. I guess, first of all, I just wanted to share some of the comments that I heard so that you all know that we're listening. And so some of the comments were that the system failed, the plan failed for the third grader. The aggressor came in contact with the victim. Privacy does not prevent safety. Is privacy being used as a shield? Do families have to go public to get an answer? Systemic change is needed. Additional training is needed. There never should have been a second victim. Where did the system fail? And how will it be fixed? How will Mount Baker make buses and playgrounds safer? How is monetary and budget related to safety issues? Safety cannot be inconsistent or reactive. The child on the bus is still under the care of the Mount Baker School District. Where did the system fail? Procedures unclear, communication unclear, informed families properly and honestly. Our community doesn't know the due process. There's too much bureaucracy that needs to be explained. And how many victims are there that we don't know about? We need to take action. I appreciate all that. I know it takes a lot of courage to speak. As a parent, I was in that position before, and I know it's really hard, and I really appreciate everyone that came to speak. I did prepare a comment prior to everyone who came to speak, which I want to share. I feel like our communities need to know how individual board members feel, even if it's not fully satisfactory to the level of detail, but I feel like it's better than. My wife and I have 4 children, ranging in ages from 16 down to 4. I share the deep concerns of my fellow parents regarding student safety in our schools. One long-standing worry I've had, even before joining the school board, is that our approach to addressing challenging behaviors, including in the most serious cases, sometimes leans too heavily towards leniency. It seems to be particularly true when the student faces significant difficulties at home or other personal challenges. While empathy is essential, I believe an overemphasis on it can inadvertently undermine our clear boundaries needed for a safe environment for all. I've shared these views openly in these school board meetings over the past few years, and I appreciate the ongoing dialogue. At the same time, I don't want to overshadow the incredible dedication of our talented staff who foster a genuine sense of belonging for so many students. In fact, that strong empathy from our educators is a key reason why our schools feel welcoming and supportive. Our strengths and our areas for growth are often intertwined. I'm optimistic about our district's trajectory toward improvement, including striking the right balance between providing robust student support, establishing firm expectations for behavior, and ensuring compliance with state laws. I'm particularly excited about our new strategic plan and the opportunities it presents to enhance academics, programs, and overall safety. I look forward to collaborating with community members, my fellow board directors, and our superintendent to bring these plans to life. Thank you. That's all I have.
Brenda? We can't hear you yet.
Did that work? Okay, sorry.
Now we are.
Don't do this very often. I just want to thank everyone for coming tonight. I want you to know that I've heard everything that you said, and I thank you, Ed, for reiterating the themes that we heard from the comments, because that's what I heard too. And I like that we have a list that we can refer back to and kind of reflect on how this all goes moving forward. This has all been very hard to hear and to think about, and I know that community trust has been shattered, and that breaks my heart. That's one thing that I've been looking forward to after all of this crap we went through in the last few years, is rebuilding trust with the community. And it's disappointing that we're at this spot now, but with the feedback that you have brought us, it gives us a clear direction of what we should be looking for and the direction we should be going. And I appreciate that so much. And I thank you. I don't have anything else to say.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So for myself, I really appreciate all the comments that we've had both here and the emails we've received. The common thread is thoughtfulness and focused on understanding and solving the problem. And I think we share that. As a parent and grandparent, I have always felt that safety is the most important thing we do. I know we just took a survey for our strategic planning process, and student safety is one of the top three there's of list of priorities. But I certainly have always felt that you look at your kids, and that's the most important thing. And so I really appreciate all of the efforts that you put into that to help us address and improve that. I know that there's more that we can do to explain the state and federal restrictions on privacy, but I think there's a pretty good understanding of from all of the comments we've received that that's something that those are the parameters that we work within. And we are committed to improving our systems and training, and I hope that you can measure our success through actions that we take. And I do I do feel that looking at it, the board periodically looks at various aspects of our operations and looking at safety plans, procedures, implementation, those kind of things. It would be a good topic for us to schedule as a work session when we have the background and preparation to do that. And I'm glad you brought up the Bridget Collins House. Actually, the board did participate in training with Bridget Collins House, but I think I'm the only one still on the board from that training. So redoing that, I think might be appropriate at some point too, because it's certainly critical to understanding some of the issues and things to watch out for and be aware of, both for board members, for staff members, and for parents. And so that's all very valuable. So yeah, I just really appreciate you showing up this evening on behalf of your children. I really do. On a couple other issues, our strategic planning steering committee's gotten off to a great start. I feel like the first meeting this last Monday was excellent. If you want to get involved, if you missed the first meeting, you can still the steering committee meetings are open to everyone in the community, and so you're welcome to come, and some others can help you get up to speed with the start. So if you'd like to get engaged going ahead, you're certainly very much welcome. I've been the legislature is in session. It's a short session. We're not expecting much in the line of money. We're hoping to defend off losses more than expecting to gain. And so I've been appreciating the ability to enter both remote testimony and the weigh in on various bills of interest to our school district. I also went to Olympia to testify to the House Ag and Natural Resources Committee on a ecosystem lease bill that would allow the DNR to have 125-year leases on what otherwise would be land producing timber revenue for us, which the estimates I've heard would be just pennies on the dollar of revenue. So basically shut off that source of revenue. And I think for the second time, I think we've kind of fought it off. So we'll continue to do that. We had a quarterly meeting with the Office Superintendent of Public Instruction on our binding conditions, and I attended that, and OSPI appreciates how Mount Baker is moving ahead on getting out of binding conditions. I think we're a bit ahead of schedule, and so the meeting was only 10 minutes long because everything's moving smoothly on. It's been hard work. I'm not saying it's smooth in terms of how the challenges that we have, and the students are certainly well aware of them, as are parents. But I think from the point of getting our financial house in order, as hard as it has been, we're making excellent progress. And that's all I got. Next up is good of the order.
I just have three short things to share. The first is Allison Ross, our head drama director, recently shared some information with our high school staff around, we had 9 students from Mount Baker who participated in a thespian competition at the end of January. And that's a She said that last year we had 5 entries and 1 state honoree, and this year Mount Baker had 14 entries with 1 national qualifier and 8 state honorees. And that national qualifier is Gwen Pigeon, who qualified with the monologue from Little Women. So we just want to give a shout out to our budding thespians, and just they're doing great work. They also just finished up their play in Pride and Prejudice, which I was able to see the opening night, and so that was good to see as well. I also want to thank Representative Joe Timmons and Senator Sharon Shoemake for taking a real interest in the work and concerns around State Road 542 and Mitchell Road, that intersection. While we're maybe not going to get some of the radical changes in that intersection that I know a lot of people had wanted, the state Department of Transportation is going to be installing school zone signs near where the speed changes. So that was part of our conversation. Can we at least explain to people why they should slow down? That maybe that would help a little bit. And then there is going to be a brighter street light that will be going in as well, and they expect that done within the next month or two. The Nooksack Indian tribe is planning a roundabout down more toward the Deming Library, and so when that is, that should be close to. Still going to be talking with our partners there. That should change traffic patterns too as that goes in. So we'll keep an eye on that. And then lastly, in the consent agenda today, you'll see a quote for HydroClean, which they're going to be doing some cleaning of our track. If anybody's been out there lately, it really needs it. And so that was, we'll get that done. But it's also part of conversations that we're having. We just got requests for qualifications back for architects, so we could do a study and review of all of our facilities and our ongoing conversations about the stadium, our soccer field, and a lot of the needs that we know that we have around our facilities. So work is slow, but we're working on it, and we're doing what we can to maintain our facilities.
Thank you. So next up is consent agenda, and before we entertain a motion for consent agenda, I want to point out that one of the actions in consent agenda is the retirement of Bridget Rossman, who has served the district with great acclaim for, I don't know how many years now, but decades, and it has been highly treasured. Was a Harmony principal, district office, taken on whatever needed to be done here, and had a job description, but also had a job. And sometimes they were not always the same thing, but very willing to jump in where needed. So on behalf of the board, I really want to thank you for your service. I know you can continue the rest of the school year, but I wanted to acknowledge that. So thank you. And with that, I entertain a motion for the consent agenda.
Motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Next is information from student representatives. So, you want to start this time, Dina?
I do. I want to start today. Nothing that I can think of, but we do just want to appreciate you guys showing up. We are students ourselves today. It's really great to see voices from the community. So, thank you.
We're just talking with the high school lately.
And junior high.
The high school and junior high, trying to get in contact. And I was a student myself at Kendall from K through 6, so I think it's really good to see you guys coming out here and showing support for your children. I know that like my mom would be very concerned if anything like that happened while I was in school. So and I have a younger sister too, so I know if something even remotely close to that happened remotely near her, I would be livid as well. So I understand a lot of your feelings.
Thank you. And for those who are new to coming to the board meetings, we very much appreciate. We've added back in student representatives this year, and it's been a major change for the benefit of the school board. So thank you so much for your involvement, participation, willingness to serve. So next up is our upcoming meeting schedule. We have our next regular meeting is February 26th, and I also, as I mentioned before, point out the remaining strategic planning meetings, February 23rd, March 2nd, and March 23rd. all in the high school library at 6 to 7:30 p.m. So I encourage everyone to participate in that. So with that, we complete our actions for this night's meeting. We have the board will recess to executive session for approximately 60 minutes to discuss the performance of a public employee. No action will be taken following the executive session. So thank you so much for coming. And before we adjourn the meeting, we can sign.